Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode. I have a special guest here for you today. Her name is Glenda Chen. And let me tell you a little bit about Glenda before we dive into the conversation. So, for over 20 years, Glenda thrived in finance, earning seven figures, but chasing success through external validation. A near death experience revealed the truth. Success without self worth is empty. She rewired her subconscious, broke free from burnout, and redefined success. Now, as the founder of Phoenix Realms and the Theta Collective, she helps women align inner worth with outer success. So achievement finally feels as good as it looks. Glenda, welcome to the show. I'm so glad to meet you.
Thank you, Candy. I'm glad to meet you too and your audience. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's start a little bit with your journey. Like I just read your bio, but I'd love to hear a little bit more from you. What is it that has gotten you to this point in your journey? And what is really bringing you joy in this area?
Yeah. Well, I should say that I hate to say this, but most of us, including myself, have to wait for an accident, scare, some death scare, some health issue for us to wake up. And my journey is the same as well. In the corporate, I'm so programmed that you you climb the corporate ladder. So my ladder is always leaning on, yes, I need to climb that. Chasing after the sales goal, the target, to ensure that my existence is still important to the company. Right? And it created burnout. And of course, because I'm being programmed in such that you have to do your best, you have to give your best. And this is a driving force for me to go forward until one day when I was on a business trip, I was so involved in my work thought that I was hit by a bus.
Hmm.
That evening, when I came back to the room, I look outside the window, I saw the London Eye. I was My life was just like the wheel, never ending, just go round and round. I asked myself, I thought that by having this income, by having this title, I should be fulfilled. I should be happy. I should have joy. I should have firework. But no, I just feel emptier and emptier inside me. And burnt out is definitely that because my work takes me a lot into business trip. And I do have a few moments an evening that I really kind of wish that I was so tired that I don't want to wake up from that sleep.
Wow.
And I know that something needs to change. So one of the thing I know is my environment. I'm not encouraging everybody to quit the job. No, it's not.
Yeah.
When I say change of environment is that check who are you surrounding with, what kind of conversation. So I thought that, okay, in order for me to have a new conversation, I need to create a new environment for myself. So I start to dive into like personal development a bit, which is something that as a corporate executive, our company put us into a lot of training, but never into personal development. We thought
Hmm.
that, personal development is something that, yeah, you know, you just become naturally. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. So I think I'm the very rare few to dive into this. And in fact, in this personal development I'm in even right now till today, I'm really one of the few Asian faces because I'm calling from Singapore, right? And I know in Europe, in America, is so, it's so advanced in a way, right?
Hmm.
So it's something that I know that in my environment I couldn't get. So I purposefully dive in to change to get to know what this personal development is about and having new conversation, learning something new. And importantly, I learned something new about me. And I thought I know me. No, I don't. I do not know me at all. Yes.
Mm.
So that is the start of the journey.
That's really interesting. And so many people who are professionals, high achievers, overachievers, it is very easy to fall into this life of I just need the next sales goal. I just need the next promotion. An AVP isn't good enough. I need to be a VP and then I need to be C-suite. And there's always this external chasing. And inevitably, what I find, and you've spoken to this as well so well, is that the first step is the step within, right? We need to know who we are, what is happening inside us, what really matters to us, what do we want? I mean, half the time, as you're, chasing that next step on the corporate ladder, you don't even know if you actually want that, or if you're just so used to thinking you should go for it that it makes it really challenging. This piece about personal development and changing your environment, it really reminds me of this. You become like the 5 people that you surround yourself around. So when you're in the boardroom, surrounded by those boardroom people, you're going to be more like those people. But sometimes it's time for us to change. And I don't want people to get really nervous and freak out about this, because what you did to change your environment is you started to learn about personal development. You put yourself in the room with yourself. And another great way is podcasts, right? Put those earbuds in your ear. That is a new person in your environment. I love that.
Yes. Candy, I
Mm,
love what you said as well. In fact, um, you come across many leaders, right? Being in business or in corporate. And because from my lens, I've seen a lot of leaders, but actually they are not really leaders per se. It's
yes.
really more of that ego playing out.
Mm-hmm.
And you might heard, you might be hearing your client, your audience saying, oh, my environment is so toxic. Well, we contribute to the environment as well, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So sometimes before we say this, we also have to introspectively check in with ourselves. Who am I? Who do I show up to be?
Right.
Yeah,
And what's my role here? How
exactly.
how am I participating in that toxic environment?
Correct.
And to
So
be
that's,
honest,
yeah, right. And that's why I also come back to like the self-image. Yes, in the corporate, in the finance, or even beyond everywhere in the world, we are so in tune to our 5 senses. Our see, hear, smell, taste, touch. We look at, oh yes, Candy, wow, I love that piece of, glasses that you're wearing, your glasses. This is your image. And somehow I would want to kind of like mimic you, right? However, that is really external. And well, we can change everything externally, but we can never, never, outperform that image if we don't have the right concept of ourselves. That is the inner image.
exactly. Yes. So when you work with your clients, what's the first thing that you do with them?
To get to them to know about who they are.
Okay.
Because I don't know whether you've heard of this saying. Like I, Fergie, I really want freedom. Freedom of time, freedom of finance, mental freedom as well. The only way to get us there is I got to be me. I got to be myself. So when I was told that in order to get a freedom, you need to be you. And I asked myself, am I free to be me? And my answer, very brutally, was a no during then. And of course, that's where I would encourage my client. I would take my client to first go on the basic. Do you know who you are? Let's go on the journey on knowing who we are. Because I fall in the trap of knowing your why. Let's go with your why. But if I do not know who I am, my why would build on a foundation of the why of others and not myself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, and as you know yourself, to accept yourself, to understand what you want, to get in touch with your values,
Mm.
to learn what you believe your purpose is. I believe we all have the same purpose in life, but we all show it a little bit differently. And
Yes.
so when you start with your clients and you begin with the internal, who are you? Where do you want to change your environment to make it more sustaining, more nourishing? Something happens, right? Like as you're describing what you do, makes me think that you start with who are you? And then the second step is who are you? And then the third step
Yeah,
is also who are you, right? Because everything comes from that, right?
yes, that's right. So because through this personal development, with that environment, I start to listen, I start to learn. And of course, I do not do self-learning because I thought that I could do that. I got books, tons of books,
Yeah. Yeah.
everything. However, it doesn't really stick. So I realized that, hey, I need to get a coach because I do believe all of us as coaches, we will need coach. And coaches need coach as well. It's that we elevate each other up.
Agreed.
So
Yeah.
it's like we are standing on the shoulders of others. And that is how I also started this journey. And then from this whole environment, I got to know, which you mentioned so rightfully, the purpose. I look at where I am and I realize that, hey, I'm going, in fact, I'm going to a different direction. I thought this ladder that I have always been leaning on, I realized that I have been leaning on the wrong wall all this while. I need to shift that. So it's it's a beautiful journey for me, getting to know who I am, where I am, and where I'm going. Yeah,
Mm, yeah.
because that is really the purpose. Yeah.
I think I can just see how much growth you've experienced. And I wonder if you could only say one thing
Mm.
to your younger self, what would that be? What would that one thing be? One message.
Accept yourself as who you are. Otherwise, you will never see opportunity.
Mm, yeah. Accept yourself as who you are.
Yeah.
I wonder what would be possible if every corporate role, when somebody's onboarding for their new role, if that was part of the operating manual. I wonder what would happen.
Yeah. Mm.
What do you think would happen?
I would say that that individual will be able to unleash more of them because it's a safe environment.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, having said that, we have to, I mean, when I say accept who we are, not say that, is going wild, right?
Mm,
Is that we accept in a non-judgmental way. And we also kind of create a kind of awareness and kind of be a better person each each day through the journey. So if you ask me how the corporate world would be, I would say that it's less toxic for sure.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And majority of us, I don't want to say all, but at least majority were heading towards the right direction because what I'm seeing in corporation is also that goal is very scattered. Everybody is going towards their own individual agenda.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then so often, when it's time for the quarterly goals or the annual goal setting, it's really a top down exercise. These are the markers that you need to make this season to be acceptable or to exceeds expectation. And oftentimes people don't know if that really aligns with them or not. I think that there might be a bit of a fear that if you allowed people to develop within their corporate role, that they would just leave, that they would go do something else. But I don't think that that's true, because I think that once you are true to yourself and doing that inner journey, you can find satisfaction almost anywhere, because it's how you interact with others, it's how you interact with yourself. So whether you happen to be in this role or self-employed, certainly things are different, and they call to different people. But it doesn't mean that because you start finding yourself and developing yourself that you must leave that job. It
Yes,
doesn't,
exactly.
right?
Yes, in fact, a very good example, I'm still in that role because through this journey, I change how I see my role. I give my role a different meaning.
Mm.
And in fact, I am now grooming the next younger executive
Right.
because I realized that through my own journey, I am able to share with them the journey that I took and bring them to a journey of, um, less painful journey, put it this way. Yeah.
Right. What a wonderful thing. Quick question. Do you really feel that you have become a different person since when you started this journey?
Yes. In
Yeah.
fact, people around me told me that I'm different. In fact, um, 5 years ago, if you to speak to me, I said I would be a it will be a very different tone. You will see a different Glenda.
Yes.
High performance, no bullshit, everything just straight to the point. Cut the chase. When right now I'm exuding more of that calmness, that more of knowingness. And a lot of my colleagues feedback that to me. Yes.
Mm,
And I guess that's also the reason why they share that I'm a better leader now. Yeah.
right.
Yes.
Yeah, they
Mhm.
see it. And you get to be the role model for them
Yeah.
as well. It's wonderful. As we get ready to wrap up, I have one last question for you. What is the most powerful question anyone has ever asked you?
If you were to, okay, so this person asked me, if you were to be friend with yourself, like speak to yourself with the way that you speak internally, would you still be friend with Glenda?
Yes. My guess is, like, from your story, I know what the answer used to be. It sounds like
Yes,
the answer today would be very different. It's like, yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
yeah. What
Yeah.
an amazing thing. If you could summarize your metamorphosis in one word, what would it be? I'll give you a phrase instead of a word. One word might
Yeah.
be tough.
Um, Self-image is a key to human personality and behavior. We are, yes.
Okay. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Glenda. I loved our conversation. How can
Thank you.
people find out more about you?
Well, I'm going to drop a link here and really to invite you on a 21 days journey together with me and my mentor, where you slowly get to know who you are. And if you really like what we are doing, well, we can always continue this journey together and work
Okay.
together. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. I'll make sure to
Thank
share
you.
that in the episode notes as well. Thank you so much. It was
Thank
wonderful to
you.
speak to you.
Thank you, Candy. Thank you.